Here are the stories that we're tracking for you today. Quote of the day. Today's report is a code red for humanity. The alarm bells are deafening and the evidence is irrefutable. That's from a statement by the United Nations Secretary General on a new landmark intergovernmental panel on climate change report. It comes as heat, drought, fires, and flooding wreak havoc across the globe. The report, compiled by 234 authors relying on more than 14,000 studies from around the world, finds that humans have pushed the climate into unprecedented territory. To find a time when the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere changed this much, this fast, you'd need to rewind 66 million years to the meteor that killed the dinosaurs. More than a year and a half into the pandemic, and the coronavirus is taking yet another turn for the worse. Cases are rebounding at a rate not seen since the winter surge. The US is now averaging 100,000 new infections a day, a 6-month high. Major cities in Texas like Austin and Houston are running out of ICU beds. 1 out of every 5 people hospitalized in the US is currently in Florida. And unlike previous waves, it is hitting a new demographic much harder than before: children. Over 130 children are currently hospitalized with COVID in Florida alone. Meanwhile, the governors of those states are actively blocking local officials and schools from imposing basic restrictions like mask mandates.
We're not doing that in Florida, okay? We need our kids to breathe.
Norwegian Cruise Lines 1, Governor Ron DeSantis 0. A judicial win for the concept of showing proof of vaccination. A federal judge has sided with Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings in a constitutional challenge to Florida's ban on so-called vaccine passports, championed by Governor Ron DeSantis. The ruling clears the way for the company to require passengers to show vaccination documentation in order to go cruising. After being sidelined since March of 2020 due to the pandemic, Norwegian plans to return to cruising from Miami on August 15th. Want to pretend to live on Mars for a year? Well, apply now. To prepare for eventually sending astronauts to Mars, NASA has begun taking applications for 4 people to live for a year in Mars Dune Alpha, a 1,700 square foot Martian habitat created by a 3D printer inside a building at Johnson Space Center in Houston. The paid volunteers will work a simulated Martian exploration mission complete with spacewalks, limited communications back home, restricted food and resources, and equipment failures.
I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this.